Welcome to the lecture recording of the citric acid cycle as well as oxidative phosphorylation. So we will first start sa pagdiscuss ng citric acid cycle. Again, the citric acid cycle or Krebs cycle or tricarboxylic acid cycle, whatever you want to call it, is a metabolic process in which acetyl-CoA is oxidized to carbon dioxide. And in that process, we we're able to generate NADH as well as FADH2 and ATP. Yan. So yung mga electrons natin from the citric acid cycle, they are transferred to our electron carriers NADH and FADH2, in which yung electron carriers na to will proceed sa ating oxidative phosphorylation, particularly sa ating electron transport chain. And then we can also produce or we can also generate ATP by substrate level phosphorylation. And when we say substrate level phosphorylation, here nakakapag-generate tayo ng ATP without the need of electron transport chain or ETC. So meron tayong substrate which will donate phosphate group directly to our adenosine diphosphate or ADP to create ATP. Yan. So substrate level phosphorylation is the type of phosphorylation na nakikita natin sa glycolysis and citric acid cycle para makapag-generate tayo ng ATP. So before we proceed sa pag-discuss ng different reactions or ng 8 reactions natin sa citric acid cycle, here is a mnemonic sa pagtanda ng 8 intermediates na makikilala natin sa ating citric acid cycle. Itong mga intermediates na nakikita nyo sa screen na to, they are already arranged in order of appearance, meaning ganyan na yung pagkakasunod-sunod nila. So una, we have oxaloacetate and then citrate, isocitrate, alpha-ketoglutarate, succinyl-CoA, succinate, fumarate, and malate. So yung nasa tatlong boxes, those are mnemonics that can help you remember the 8 intermediates that you will encounter in our citric acid cycle. So up to you na lang kung alin dun sa tatlo, pwede kayo mamili or you can make your own mnemonic para mas personalize siya or mas madali nyo matandaan kasi kayo mismo yung gumawa. Sa citric acid cycle natin, because meron tayong dalawang acetyl-CoA from pyruvate oxidation. Yan, quick recall lang tayo. Again, yung pyruvate oxidation, ang ginagawa natin doon, we are oxidizing pyruvate to become acetyl-CoA. So si acetyl-CoA siya yung mag-enter ng ating citric acid cycle. That's why si acetyl-CoA yung isa sa ating mga reactants. Pyruvate oxidation, meron kang dalawang pyruvate or dalawang pyruvic acid na mag-undergo ng oxidation. And isang pyruvic acid is equal to 1 acetyl-CoA. So 1 pyruvate will generate 1 acetyl-CoA. And since dalawa nga yung pyruvate na inoxidize mo, meron ka ring dalawang acetyl-CoA that will enter our citric acid cycle. Which means, yung citric acid cycle natin, dalawang beses siyang uulit. So, meron kang dalawang cycles. Because, again, dalawa yung reactants mo, which are 2 acetyl-CoA. So, meron major reactants natin, we have 2 acetyl-CoA, yan, at the start. And then yung products natin, major products na maproproduce sa ating citric acid cycle are 4 carbon dioxide, 6 NADH, 2 FADH2, and 2 ATP. So again, yung mga products natin, naka-times 2 sila. So meaning, kung isang acetyl-CoA lang, or gusto nating malaman kung ilang products yung pwede nating ma-produce sa isang acetyl-CoA, i-divide lang natin yung products natin by 2. So 4 carbon dioxide divided by 2 is 2 carbon dioxide, and then 6 divided by 2 is 3 NADH, 1 FADH2, and 1 ATP. So later on, kapag diniscuss na natin yung different steps or different reactions na meron tayo sa citric acid cycle or Krebs cycle, makikita nyo kung aling steps ba tayo nakakapag-produce ng carbon dioxide, ng NADH, FADH2, and ATP. So here is an overview of the citric acid cycle ng diagram natin. So lahat yan ay i-discuss natin in detail. Of course, we will start sa step 1 natin ng Krebs cycle or citric acid cycle. Yan. At the first step, meron tayong condensation and hydrolysis. So basically, ang nangyari lang naman sa step 1, meron tayong acetyl-CoA, which is a 2-carbon molecule. So dalawa yung carbon ng ating acetyl-CoA, tas may nakakabit sa kanyang coenzyme A. So 1, 2. And then we also have oxaloacetate. So these are our starting materials. Si oxaloacetate, this is a 4-carbon molecule. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, ang gagawin natin sa step 1 is pagsasamahin natin or ipagko-combine natin si acetyl-CoA and oxaloacetate. Which means, kapag pinagsama natin si acetyl-CoA at si oxaloacetate, makaka-form tayo ng 6-carbon molecule. Now, itong 6-carbon molecule, hindi pa siya citrate, okay? Hindi pa siya citrate agad. Bago siya maging citrate, meron muna tayong kailangang alisin or tanggalin. And that is CoA. So, remember, si acetyl-CoA may nakakabit sa kanyang coenzyme A. So, para maging citrate, itong molecule na to, 6-carbon molecule na to, mag-a-undergo siya ng hydrolysis. Again, pag sinabi nating lysis, yan. That means splitting. On the other hand, yung hydro, that means water. So hydrolysis basically means na you are using water or H2O molecule to split something. Okay? So dito sa step 1 natin, papasok si water. Yan, may H2O ka dyan to cut the bond between the 6-carbon molecule and our coenzyme A. By the way, yung tawag natin dito sa molecule na to ay citryl-CoA. Sorry. Let me erase that. Yan. Tawag natin sa kanya ay citryl-CoA. Now again, papasok si water to cut the bond or split the bond between coenzyme A and the 6-carbon molecule. Once makat niya na yung bond na yon, we are left with a 6-carbon molecule which we call citrate. So that's what happens during step 1 of the Krebs cycle. Again, magkakaroon muna tayo ng condensation kung saan we are joining or combining acetyl-CoA and oxaloacetate, which will give us a 6-carbon molecule na citryl-CoA. Citryl-CoA pa siya kasi may nakakabit pa sa kanyang coenzyme A. And then after condensation, magkakaroon tayo ng hydrolysis in which we will use water to remove coenzyme A sa ating 6-carbon molecule. Once ma-remove na natin si coenzyme A sa 6-carbon molecule, we are left with citrate, which is our first intermediate sa ating citric acid cycle. Now, yung enzyme na involved dito is citrate synthase. So, bakit kaya citrate synthase yung pangalan niya? Synthase meaning it is involved in a reaction kung saan nagkakaroon tayo ng synthesis. Pag sinabi nating synthesis, we are making something, we are creating something. And in this case, we are creating citrate or synthesizing citrate. That's why it's called citrate synthase. Now, always remember na pag yung mga enzymes natin, they always end with this ACE. Yan. They always end with ACE. Next step natin is step number 2. Sa step number 2, ang nangyayari lang dito is isomerization. And again, when we say isomerization, nagkakaroon tayo ng rearrangement of structure. Of molecular structure ng ating isomers. Yan. So, para sa mga hindi familiar sa isomers, isusulat ko na din dito. Pag sinabi nating isomers, these are molecules with the same molecular formula but different molecular structure. So, yung example nito, primary example natin dito is during glycolysis, di ba? Yung glucose and fructose, they are both 6-carbon molecules. And then, si glucose, isomer niya si fructose and vice versa. Kasi pwede magkaiba yung molecular structure nila kahit na pareho silang 6-carbon molecule. Yan. So again, sa isomerization, nagkakaroon tayo ng rearrangement of structure into its isomer. So, si citrate, i-convert lang natin siya or i-rearrange lang natin yung structure niya, molecular structure, para maging isocitrate. So, paano natin siya i-rearrange? Through dehydration and hydration. Baguhin ko lang yung kulay ng pen. Pag sinabi nating dehydration, we are losing water. Yan, 'di ba? Pag nade-dehydrate ka, kulang ka sa water. And kabaliktaran naman nun yung hydration. Nagkakaroon ka ng water. You are gaining water. So, 'di ba? Pag dehydrated ka, sinasabi sa'yo palagi, mag-hydrate ka or uminom ka ng water. So, same case lang din for this. Again, dehydration, you are losing water. Pag sinabi naman nating hydration, you are gaining water or H2O. Now, sa isomerization ng citrate natin, ang mangyayari, tatanggalan natin siya ng water, which is itong dehydration. Yan. Tatanggalan mo siya nito at ito. Yan. And then, kapag natanggalan mo na siya ng water, magiging cis-aconitate siya. Yan, cis-aconitate. This is our intermediate, transient intermediate molecule. And dito din na-derive yung pangalan ng enzyme natin na aconitase. Yan, aconitase. From aconitate. Once maging cis-aconitate na si citrate, ang gagawin naman natin ay magbabalik tayo ng water, which is now hydration. Yan. So, magbabalik ka ng water sa ating molecule, but take note na maiiba na yung placement ng ating hydroxyl group and hydrogen. So, kung sa citrate natin, yung OH natin nasa carbon 3, yan, carbon 3, pagdating ng isocitrate, yung OH group natin nasa carbon 2 na siya ngayon. So, nagpalit sila ng posisyon ng hydrogen at OH group. Pinagpalit natin sila ng position. Kaya sa citrate, naging isocitrate. So, in summary lang talaga, sa step 2 natin, nagkaroon lang tayo ng rearrangement or isomerization ng citrate to isocitrate. Next step natin, we have step number 3. Sa step 3 natin, nagkakaroon tayo ng first oxidative decarboxylation. Now, huwag kayong matatakot dito sa big word natin na oxidative decarboxylation kasi ang ibig sabihin lang naman yan is nagkakaroon tayo ng oxidation at decarboxylation. Yan. So, isa-isahin natin kung ano nga ba yung oxidation at decarboxylation. When we say oxidation, nagkakaroon tayo ng loss of electrons. Yan, loss of electrons. Now, lagi niyong tatandaan na si oxidation, may kapartner siya. Ang kapartner niya ay si reduction. Kung si oxidation, loss of electrons, si reduction, gain of electrons. So, lagi silang magka-partner, kaya nga nagkakaroon tayo ng tinatawag natin na redox reaction. So, dito, yung unang step natin sa step number 3 is oxidation. So, yung ino-oxidize natin or tinatanggalan natin ng electrons ay si isocitrate. So, natatanggalan natin siya ng electrons by transferring a hydride to NAD+. Ma'am, ano po yung hydride? Now, yung hydride, tatandaan nyo, this is a hydrogen with 1 proton and 2 electrons. Yan. So, different siya from normal hydrogen kasi yung hydrogen natin, typically meron siyang isang proton, isang electron. But for the case of hydride, meron siyang dalawang electrons. Okay? Now, kukuha tayo ng hydride from isocitrate and we will give it 2NAD+. Okay? So again, yung nag-undergo ng oxidation ay si isocitrate. Now, sino naman yung mag-undergo ng reduction? Si NAD+. Bakit si NAD+ yung nag-undergo ng reduction? Well, because siya yung nag-gain ng electrons na kinuha natin from isocitrate. So we can say that NAD+ is reduced to NADH. Yan. Okay? Again, ulitin lang natin. Si isocitrate, nag-undergo siya ng oxidation or loss of electrons by transferring a hydride to NAD+. Because NAD+ gained a hydride or gained an electron, NAD+ is reduced to NADH. Yan. So, after ma-oxidize ni isocitrate natin, after niya mawalan ng electrons, ang susunod na mangyayari ay decarboxylation. Pag sinabi nating decarboxylation, ayan, ang keyword natin dyan ay itong carboxyl. Pag sinabi nating decarboxylation, a carboxyl group is being removed. So, loss of carboxyl group. Now, ma'am, ano po yung carboxyl group? Yung carboxyl group natin, siya yung COOH or in this case, dito sa molecular structure na nakadrawing dyan ay COO-. So, si isocitrate, oxidized isocitrate, tatanggalan natin siya ngayon ng carboxyl group. So, tatanggalan nyo siya nitong COOH or COO-. So, pag tinanggalan nyo ng carboxyl group, si isocitrate, it will be released in the form of carbon dioxide. So, bakit po carbon dioxide? Notice na si carbon dioxide natin, meron siyang isang carbon at dalawang oxygen. And it so happens na yung carboxyl group natin, meron din siyang isang carbon at dalawang oxygen. That's why it is released as carbon dioxide. Now, si isocitrate, after niyang ma-oxidize, after niyang mag-undergo ng decarboxylation, magiging alpha-ketoglutarate na lang siya. Alpha-ketoglutarate. And yung enzyme na involved dito, sa step 3 natin, we call it isocitrate dehydrogenase. So, bakit po isocitrate dehydrogenase? Isocitrate, dahil si isocitrate yung tinanggalan natin ng hydride. Yan. Kay isocitrate tayo nagtanggal or kumuha ng hydride. Dehydrogenase, this is an enzyme involved in dehydrogenation. So, wag po malilito. Iba po yung dehydration sa dehydrogenation. Okay? So, keyword natin dyan ay hydrogen. Pag sinabi nating dehydrogenation, we are removing a hydrogen. Okay? So, si isocitrate, tinanggalan natin ng hydrogen or hydride. Diba? Si hydride natin, this is an hydrogen atom na merong isang proton at dalawang electron. So, basically, hydrogen pa din siya na may dalawang electrons lang. So, si isocitrate, tinanggalan natin ng hydrogen, kaya yung enzyme niya is isocitrate dehydrogenase. Now, another thing you need to note dito sa step number 3 natin is nabawasan yung number of carbons natin sa ating molecule. So, nung una, yung isocitrate natin, meron siyang 6. Okay? 6 na carbon. So, bilangin natin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, 6 na carbon ang meron tayo sa isocitrate. But, Once mag-undergo ng decarboxylation itong isocitrate natin, meaning matatanggalan siya ng carboxyl group, nababawasan din siya ng isang carbon. Kasi nga, tinanggal mo tong COO. So, from being 6, magiging 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 na lang siya. 5 carbons. Okay? So, si alpha ketoglutarate natin, 5 carbons na lang siya. Next, we have step number 4. Now, si step number 4, very similar siya sa step number 3. That is, meron din tayong oxidative decarboxylation. So, this is our second oxidative decarboxylation. So, si alpha ketoglutarate natin, same as isocitrate, mag-undergo din siya ng oxidation and decarboxylation. Again, pag sinabi nating oxidation ng alpha ketoglutarate, we are transferring or removing a hydride from alpha ketoglutarate. Yan. So, kunwari, ito yung hydride natin. Yan. And then transferring it to NAD+. That's why NAD+ is reduced to NADH. So, yun lang yung oxidation natin. Once ma-oxidize si alpha ketoglutarate, we will then proceed with decarboxylation. Again, pag sinabi nating decarboxylation, we are removing a carboxyl group. Or itong COOH, COO-. So, magtatanggal tayo ng another carboxyl group. So, once matanggal na natin si carboxyl group and it is released in the form of carbon dioxide, ayan, CO2, ang susunod na gagawin natin is condensation. Pag sinabi natin condensation, nagkakaroon tayo ng combination or joining of two molecules. Joining of two molecules. So, in this case, yung ipagko-combine natin or yung ipag-join natin ay itong si alpha ketoglutarate na na-oxidize na at natanggalan ng carboxyl group as well as coenzyme A. Yan. Okay? So, again, una muna si alpha ketoglutarate, i-oxidize natin siya. Tatanggalan ng hydride, ililipat natin kay NAD+. That's why si NAD+, it will be reduced or it will become NADH. Once ma-oxidize na natin si alpha ketoglutarate, it will undergo decarboxylation, which means we will remove a carboxyl group from our molecule and it will be released as carbon dioxide. Now, once matapos na yung decarboxylation, papasok ngayon si coenzyme A at kakabit siya or magjo-join siya with our oxidized and decarboxylized alpha ketoglutarate, forming succinyl-CoA. Yan. So, if you can notice, yung pangalan ng intermediate natin ay may CoA na sa dulo, meaning may nakakabit sa kanyang coenzyme A. And again, yung enzyme na involved dito is alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase. Yan. Side note lang, pag nagsusulat kayo ng alpha, yan. So, ganito nyo siya sinusulat, parang isda. Yan. So, si alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase, kaya ganun yung tawag sa kanya, kasi again, we are removing a hydride. Sorry. We are removing a hydride. A hydride from alpha ketoglutarate. That's why it's called dehydrogenase. Yan. Now, bilangin lang ulit natin yung number of carbons natin kasi nagkaroon tayo ng decarboxylation, di ba? So, si alpha ketoglutarate, meron siyang 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons. Now, after niyang mag-undergo ng decarboxylation, ayan, mababawasan yung carbons niya. From being 5, magiging 1, 2, 3, 4 na lang siya. 4 carbons for succinyl-CoA. Now, let's proceed sa step number 5 natin ng Krebs cycle. Sa step number 5 natin, ang gagawin natin is we're going to remove coenzyme A from succinyl-CoA. As we remove the coenzyme A from succinyl-CoA, si succinyl-CoA magiging succinate na lang siya. Now, hindi lang doon natatapos yung reactions natin for step number 5. Yung notable na reaction talaga for step number 5 is the substrate level phosphorylation. Again, pag sinabi nating substrate level phosphorylation, we are able to generate ATP without the need of electron transport chain. Kasi meron tayong substrate. Substrate, it can be any molecule that can donate a phosphate group to adenosine diphosphate to create ATP. Yan. So, sa substrate level phosphorylation natin sa step number 5, kapag break natin yung bond between succinyl-CoA and the coenzyme A, so tinanggal mo yung bond dito, kinat mo siya, magre-release yon ng energy. We need the energy to phosphorylate GDP para makabuo ng GTP. So, wag kayong mabahala kung naiba na, kung hindi siya directly ATP agad. Si GDP or guanosine diphosphate is similar to ADP or adenosine diphosphate. Now, si GDP, pag dinagdagan mo siya ng phosphate group, yan, ng inorganic phosphate, ang kakalabasan niya ngayon ay si GTP or guanosine triphosphate. Now, what you need to remember about guanosine triphosphate is that it is energetically equivalent and readily converted to ATP. Ay, meaning si GTP, pwede natin siya agad i-convert to ATP. And that's what we're going to do sa step 5 natin. Once makapag-generate na tayo ng GTP, ang gagawin natin is that we're going to convert GTP into ATP. So, how are we going to do that? So, meron tayong GTP and then ADP as our reactants. Yan, GTP plus ADP. And then, mag-undergo siya ng reactions kung saan yung may-yield nating products or ma-produce nating products would be GDP plus an inorganic phosphate as well as ATP. So, basically, GTP is equal to 1 ATP. Yun yung substrate level phosphorylation natin for step number 5. Again, isummarize ko lang. Si succinyl-CoA, tatanggalan natin siya ng coenzyme A. So, we're going to break the bond sa coenzyme A natin. Once ma-break natin yung bond or ma-remove na natin si CoA from succinyl-CoA, it will release energy that will be used to phosphorylate GDP to form GTP. Okay? So, yung energy na ma-release, gagamitin natin to create guanosine triphosphate. Once we have guanosine triphosphate, we're going to convert guanosine triphosphate to ATP or adenosine triphosphate. Now, si succinyl-CoA, dahil nawalan na siya ngayon ng coenzyme A, tinanggal mo siya, magiging succinate na siya. And dahil wala tayong decarboxylation sa step number 5, yung carbon number natin for succinyl-CoA and succinate, it remains the same. 4 carbons pa rin sila, pareho. Now, yung enzyme natin for step number 5 is succinyl-CoA synthetase. Yan. So, sadya pong synthetase yan, meron tayong T as opposed to synthase na nasa step number 1. So, ang tatandaan nyo sa enzyme natin na synthetase, it involves energy. Yan. It involves energy sa ating reaction. On the other hand, yung synthase, ayan, from step 1, hindi niya kailangan or walang involvement ng energy. That's why it's only synthase. Yan. Pag synthetase, again, it involves energy. Next, we have step number 6. Sa step number 6, ang nangyayari lang dito is another oxidation. Now, huwag kayong magtataka kasi, ma'am, oxidation, tas dehydrogenation yung nasa PPT mo. Okay. So, si dehydrogenation, this is a specific type of oxidation. Si oxidation kasi, siya yung general term natin for losing electrons. But kapag sinabi nating dehydrogenation, specific na yung nawawala sa atin ay hydrogen atoms. Okay? Nawawalan tayo ng hydrogen atoms. And yung hydrogen atoms na yon, may dala-dala silang electrons. Yan. Na nawawala dun sa ating molecule. Kaya specific type of oxidation, si dehydrogenation. Now, sa step 6 natin, si succinate natin mag-undergo siya ng oxidation or if you want to be specific, mag-undergo siya ng dehydrogenation. So, tatanggalan natin siya ng dalawang hydrogen atoms. 2 hydrogen atoms. Now, sabi natin, kapag meron tayong oxidation, meron siyang kapartner, which is si reduction. So, kung si succinate yung ma-oxidize natin or matatanggalan natin ng electrons, sino naman kaya yung molecule na mag-gain ng electrons or sino kaya yung mare-reduce? Yung mare-reduce natin ay si FAD. Yan. Si FAD will be reduced to FADH2. Meaning si FAD, it will gain electrons to become FADH2. And then once ma-oxidize na natin si succinate, magiging fumarate na siya. So, ganun lang yung step number 6 natin. Again, we are going to oxidize succinate to become fumarate. Once ma-oxidize na natin si succinate, we will transfer that removed electrons or removed hydrogen specifically to FAD. So, once ma-transfer na or maka-gain na, makapag-receive na ng electrons si FAD, it will be reduced to FADH2. Now, yung enzyme natin dito, very easy lang tandaan, succinate dehydrogenase. Again, dehydrogenase because we are removing a hydrogen from succinate. Now, for step number 7, very easy lang din. Nagkakaroon lang tayo ng hydration. So, sa hydration natin, again, ang nangyari dito ay meron tayong gain of water or H2O molecule. Yan. So, sa hydration, sa step number 7, si fumarate, dadagdagan lang natin siya ng water, ng H2O. Once madagdagan na natin ng H2O si fumarate, magiging malate na siya. So, very easy. Yun lang yung step number 7 natin. Magdadagdag ka lang ng water kay fumarate to become malate or to form malate. So, yung enzyme natin dito, it's called fumarase or fumarate hydratase. So, ito yung full name niya, fumarate hydratase. But for easier remembering, fumarase na lang yung tatandaan nyo. Now, on to our last step of the Krebs cycle or citric acid cycle. Si malate natin, we're going to turn it into oxaloacetate. So, how are we going to do that? By oxidizing malate, specifically dehydrogenation. Again, pag sinabi nating dehydrogenation, anong tinatanggal natin? Okay, we are removing a hydrogen. So, si malate natin, mag-a-undergo ng oxidation. And then, yung tatanggalin nating electrons from malate, ibibigay natin siya ngayon kay NAD+. That's why si NAD+, it will be reduced to NADH. Okay? It will be reduced to NADH. So again, meron tayong partner na oxidation and reduction. Once ma-oxidize na natin si malate, malate will then become oxaloacetate. Yan. So yun lang yung reaction natin for step number 8. Another oxidation. Si malate, again, we will oxidize malate to form oxaloacetate. Once ma-oxidize si malate, NAD+ will receive those electrons and it will be reduced to NADH. And as you can guess, yung enzyme natin dito, it is malate dehydrogenase. Kasi again, we are removing a hydrogen from malate. Now, kung mapapansin nyo din, yung oxaloacetate natin, this is the molecule that we use sa ating step number 1. So, oxaloacetate is one of our starting molecules. That's why it's called a cycle, di ba? Citric acid cycle kasi umuulit siya. Yung oxaloacetate na na-produce natin during step number 8 will be used sa ating step number 1 para makapag-form ulit tayo ng citric. So that's it for the steps of the Krebs cycle or citric acid cycle. Now let's have a summary lang ng steps natin or reactions natin from step 1 to step number 8. Yan. Again, meron tayong 8 reactions for the citric acid cycle. Yan. And yung purpose natin sa citric acid cycle is generally to oxidize the acetyl-CoA to carbon dioxide. And in that process, nakakapag-generate tayo ng NADH and FADH2, which are our 2 electron carriers. And then, nakakapag-synthesize din tayo ng ATP from substrate level phosphorylation. So, bago tayo pumunta or bago natin i-discuss itong chemical equation for the citric acid cycle, balikan lang ulit natin kung aling mga steps tayo nakabuo ng mga major products natin. So, meron tayong carbon dioxide, meron tayong NADH, meron tayong FADH2, at ATP. So, si carbon dioxide, ang number of carbon dioxide na na-form natin for 1 acetyl-CoA. So, take note lang natin for 1 acetyl-CoA. Ay 2 carbon dioxide. And then for NADH, nakapag-generate tayo ng 3. For FADH2, nakapag-generate tayo ng 1. And then for ATP, 1 lang din. Now, sa carbon dioxide, aling steps kaya tayo nakapag-generate or nakapag-form ng carbon dioxide? So, these are steps number 3 and number 4. So, tatandaan nyo, sa 3 and 4, dun tayo nagkaroon ng oxidative decarboxylation. Decarboxylation, meaning nagtanggal tayo ng carboxyl group in the form of carbon dioxide. That's why 3 and 4 tayo merong nag-generate na carbon dioxide. Now, how about NADH? For NADH, steps number 3, steps number 3, 4, and also, step number 8. So, yung pinakahuli nating step for the citric acid cycle. So, tatandaan nyo kapag meron tayong oxidation, syempre meron tayong reduction. And dun sa reduction, dun tayo nakakapag-form ng ating mga electron carriers. And dito sa citric acid cycle, meron tayong total of 4 oxidations. So, yung 4 oxidations na yon ay itong step 3, step 4, step 8, and then yung step natin for FADH2, which is step number 6. So, sa step number 6, instead of generating NADH after natin ma-oxidize yung molecule, ang nag-generate nating electron carrier is FADH2. And then for substrate level phosphorylation, ayan, step number 5. So, isang step lang for substrate level phosphorylation. So, I hope clear sa inyo yung kung aling mga steps ay nakakapag-form ng major product. So, tatandaan nyo lang sila palagi kasi hint din sila sa kung ano yung intermediate na na-form natin. Now, para discuss na natin yung chemical equation natin for citric acid cycle. So, again, yung reactants natin, major reactant natin, we have acetyl-CoA. So, aside from acetyl-CoA, we will also be needing NAD+ para makapag-generate ng NADH. And then FAD, and then ADP plus an inorganic phosphate. And then, dalawang water. So, yung water, ginamit natin siya during step number 1 and step number 7. Step 1 and 7. So, di ba sa step 1 may hydrolysis tayo. Tapos sa step 7, meron tayong hydration. So, dun tayo gumamit ng water. And then, yung products na ma-form natin, we have carbon dioxide. Alam nyo na kung aling step yan. NADH, FADH2, and then ATP. So, yung mga byproducts natin, we have coenzyme A. So, saan po tayo nakapag-generate or nakakuha ng coenzyme A? Nakakuha tayo ng coenzyme A during step number 5. Diba sa step number 5 natin, si succinyl-CoA naging succinate. Then yung 3H plus natin, dun sila na-generate during step 3, 4, and 8. Kapag nakakapagawa tayo ng NADH. So, yun lang naman yung reactants and products natin for the citric acid cycle. So, lagi nyo lang tatandaan yung mga major products and major reactants natin for our citric acid cycle. So, ito lang din yon yung table natin kanina. But yung nandito na sa table is naka times 2 na kasi tinitake into account niya na yung dalawang acetyl-CoA na mag-e-enter ng ating citric acid cycle or Krebs cycle. So again, let's just have a summary of the steps, of the 8 steps of the citric acid cycle before we proceed to oxidative phosphorylation. So sa step 1 natin, nagkakaroon tayo ng condensation and hydrolysis. Yan. Sa condensation, we are combining or joining acetyl-CoA and oxaloacetate to form citrate, the 6-carbon citrate. Yung papel ng hydrolysis is to remove coenzyme A from citryl-CoA. Now, aside from that, yung enzyme na ginamit natin for step number 1 ay citrate synthase. So, dito lang natin isulat. Citrate synthase. Now, pagdating ng step number 2 natin, this is just isomerization. Again, isomerization through dehydration and hydration. Si citrate, tatanggalan muna natin siya ng water and then after natin siya matanggalan ng water, magbabalik lang din tayo ng water but in different position na. Kaya siya magiging isocitrate. So, yung enzyme na involved dito is aconitase. Now, after maging isocitrate ni citrate, ang gagawin naman natin kay isocitrate ay oxidative decarboxylation. Sa oxidative decarboxylation, si isocitrate, una muna mag-undergo siya ng oxidation. Meaning, isocitrate will lose an electron by transferring a hydride to NAD+. That's why si NAD+, it will be reduced to NADH. Now, after natin ma-oxidize si isocitrate, it will then undergo decarboxylation in which we are going to remove a carboxyl group or COO. And it will be released in the form of carbon dioxide. So, ayun yung decarboxylation natin. So, once matapos na sa oxidation and decarboxylation si isocitrate, ang makukuha nating intermediate is alpha-ketoglutarate. Now, take note na from being 6 carbon, naging 5 carbon na lang siya. Kasi nga nagkaroon tayo ng decarboxylation. Now, sa step 4 natin, very similar to step number 3. This is just another oxidative decarboxylation. Yan. With condensation. So again, same steps lang sa ano natin or same reactions lang naman sa step 3. Si alpha ketoglutarate ma-oxidize, mawawalan ng electrons. Saan mapupunta yung electrons? Kay NAD+. Kaya si NAD+ magiging NADH. Once ma-oxidize si alpha ketoglutarate, mag-undergo ng decarboxylation. Tatanggalan natin siya ng carboxyl group and it will be released in the form of carbon dioxide. Once matapos na yung oxidative carboxylation natin, papasok ngayon si coenzyme A. So, wala siya dito, pero dapat meron diyang CoA. Yan. May papasok na coenzyme A at kakabit siya ngayon sa ating succinyl. Yan. Or dun sa ating na-oxidize at na decarboxylize na alpha ketoglutarate. Kakabit siya ngayon doon sa ating molecule na yun. Once makapag-add na tayo ng coenzyme A, ang magiging intermediate na natin ay succinyl-CoA. Now again, dahil nagkaroon tayo ng decarboxylation during step number 4, mababawasan tayo ng isang carbon. From being 5 carbon, magiging 4 carbon na lang si succinyl-CoA. Now, si succinyl-CoA, sa step number 5 natin, ang mangyayari, matatanggalan si succinyl-CoA ng coenzyme A. So, tatanggalin natin si coenzyme A, kaya magiging succinate na lang siya. Kaya meron ka ditong lumabas na coenzyme A. Now, aside from removing coenzyme A, ang nangyayari pang reaction dyan is substrate level phosphorylation. Again, we are removing coenzyme A from succinyl kasi it will release energy. Yung energy na yon, we will then use it for the substrate level phosphorylation. Gagamitin natin siya para si GDP maging GTP. Yan. Si GDP maging GTP and then si GTP maging ATP. So, yun yung ating substrate level phosphorylation. Now, sa step number 6 natin, si succinate, ang gagawin natin sa kanya is another oxidation. Specifically, dehydrogenation. Pero oxidation na lang yung lalagay ko dito. Yan. So, sa oxidation, si succinate, mawawalan siya ng electrons. Okay? Once mawala ng electrons, si succinate, magiging fumarate na lang siya. So, saan mapupunta yung electrons na tinanggal natin kay succinate? Mapupunta siya ngayon kay FAD. Kaya si FAD magiging FADH2. So, yun lang yung step number 6 natin. Now, sa step number 7, si fumarate, ang gagawin lang natin ay dadagdagan natin siya ng H2O molecule or water. That's why magkakaroon tayo ng hydration. So, si fumarate, dadagdagan ng water, kaya magiging malate. Okay? So, yun lang yung step number 7. Now, step number 8, this is just another oxidation. Si malate natin, ang gagawin natin, i-oxidize natin siya or tatanggalan natin siya ng electrons para maging oxaloacetate. Now, saan ulit mapupunta yung electrons na tatanggalin natin kay malate? Mapupunta siya kay NAD+, para maging NADH na siya. Yan. So, once mawala ng electron si malate, again, magiging oxaloacetate siya. And then, the cycle repeats again. Yan. So, yun yung 8 steps natin for the citric acid cycle. Now, kompletuhin ko lang yung mga enzyme natin per step kasi hindi ko pala sila nalagay. Sorry, nalimutan ko. So again, for step number 1, yung enzyme natin is citrate synthase. For step number 2, we have aconitase. For step number 3, that is isocitrate dehydrogenase. And then sa step number 4, dahil another oxidation, dehydrogenase ulit yung enzyme natin. But now, yung pangalan niya na is alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase. And then for step number 5, ang enzyme naman natin dito ay succinyl-CoA synthetase. So, synthetase dahil meron tayong involvement ng energy. Succinyl-CoA synthetase. Now for step number 6, because this is another oxidation reaction, yung enzyme ulit natin ay dehydrogenase. So yung enzyme na natin dyan ay succinate dehydrogenase. And then for step number 7, yung enzyme natin dyan ay fumarase. And then for step 8, as you can guess, dahil oxidation ulit yung reaction natin, another dehydrogenase enzyme. But this time, it is called malate dehydrogenase. And then, magre-repeat lang ulit yung cycle natin. So, I hope mas naging malinaw yung discussion or yung reactions natin for the citric acid cycle after this video lecture. So, dito ko muna puputulan yung video lecture natin. So, this will be part 1. And then yung part 2 natin, that will be for oxidative phosphorylation. If you have any questions or any concerns, you may message me sa Teams directly.